they were shocked and stunned to find Sabina's body in Tom's room. The next 4 hours of this Uber drive were intensely awkward. Tom sat in the back in complete silence. He didn't say a word to Uzan. And it's one thing to not be in a talking mood or to be lost in your thoughts during a quick Uber ride, but he literally didn't speak out loud for hours. And even though Tom wasn't saying anything, Uzan could tell that his passenger in the back was clearly upset. Later on, he actually told a reporter that Tom seemed miserable. He spent the first part of the ride staring out the window, seemingly just lost in thought. Eventually, Tom dozed off in the back seat, and Uzan might have breathed a sigh of relief not to have to deal with Tom's bad mood and sulky silence anymore. Eventually, they made it to Tom's home in Pennsylvania. It was a rustic-looking cabin, and it was out of the way in a remote area. Tom woke up long enough to give Uzan some instructions about where to pull over. It was the only thing he actually said for the whole ride. Well, Uzan did what he asked. He dropped him off and unlocked the door. And as Tom climbed out of the car, he muttered, "Thank you," under his breath. The words were soft enough that Uzan could barely hear them. In total, Tom had given up $370 in fare, and he didn't even tip Uzan for this 4-hour ride. So Uzan rolled his eyes, then tried to put the weirdness out of his mind as he began the lengthy 4-hour trip back home. So the very next day, Uzan was on the road working another shift when he had another wild ride with a client. But this was a very different situation. See, this time, the person he picked up was feeling talkative. She wasn't sitting in silence. In fact, she got into his Uber and then said she was a reporter with the Daily Mail, and her destination was the Shu Sudi Ban House, the same exclusive spa where Uzan had picked Tom up the day before. Now, it was such a bizarre coincidence. So Uzan started telling his new passenger about the strange ride from earlier. And for her part, she seemed really interested in the story. And before long, Uzan learned why.